Oh, Jennifer, you look beautiful.
Thank you, guys. All right, I'm your photographer. I have a lot of shots to take. So you better listen up, or I'm gonna shoot.
Like, oh my God, don't put so much pressure on your photog. They ruin your wedding day. Get realsies.
Photography.
Wow.
Where do we begin?
It's really, really important, right?
Absolutely.
Really
So. Absolutely.
Okay.
Very, very important. And I think that kind of like the skit, they can somewhat hijack your day, the day a little bit. We've all seen it happen. I know I have.
Right. And it's just a matter of you not being so over, you know, I don't even know the word. Yeah, overbearing as far as giving them a list of.
Let them do their job.
Right. And not giving them a list of, I have to have all of these 100 shots. You know, because that's impossible, really.
Yeah.
It's impossible. And a real professional wedding photographer knows what shots to take.
Absolutely.
So if you just give him, you know, 10, 15 that are
Pick
really
the most
important to you,
important ones.
well,
I
then
think-
they can get that done. That's realistic.
I mean, I think every wedding photographer knows the shots to take. They're going to get you walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
They're going to get you with your
mom and dad.
parents
And your
his
bridal
parents
party
and your, So I think that the 10 shots that you put on a list need to be shots that aren't necessarily shots that they get every single time.
Not the normal.
Right.
Yeah. So if you have a favorite aunt or a sister or a certain person you definitely want to shot with, I think that needs to go on the list.
But don't limit their creativity, because when you're
Right.
giving them the big
That's
list,
the
then
thing.
you're saying, then they have no room for
You're controlling.
creativity.
Yeah.
Which when you control somebody that's in a creative, field,
They don't know
you
how to
limit
react,
them.
right?
Yeah, you limit them. But I think the key is to, as long as they're professional, then you shouldn't have to guide them as much to where you then in turn limit their creativity.
Right, because again, we know that this is an important category, and we know that a lot of girls think that because this is really the only tangible thing you have, after your wedding. But again, you have to let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Let them be creative. Also, to help so they don't hijack the day. Have a wedding planner or have somebody that can be there to say, okay, you've got 5 more minutes. You've got 10 more minutes. You've got whatever you need. You know what I mean? So you're keeping them on time, because the photographer only cares about the photographer and what he's doing for the bride. He doesn't really care about, are you on time for your dinner? Are you on time for this? He wants to make sure he's getting the shots that you've paid for that day, and that he's delivering them.
Yeah.
So, but they can really hijack your day if you don't let them.
But
Seriously.
the bride has to be on time too.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can't expect your photographer to be on time if you're not on time.
Yeah.
Right, especially because a lot of the packages have a certain time limit in them, and a picture limit.
Sure.
So if you're giving them 100 shots that you want to take, and you only have 500 in your package,
Don't expect
know
150.
that going in.
Yeah.
Don't expect to get all the traditional shots then.
And most of the shots are going to be shots that are candid.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what you want.
Best
You don't even know what's going on, and then you see it and you're like, oh, this is great.
Yes, so if you map every shot out, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be the shot
And if
that
you
you're
miss
gonna
a
want.
shot, that 10 listed 10, if you miss a shot during the reception, there's photographers there all night, so they
right.
can
Yeah,
grab
it's
you
time
and
to
say,
catch
"Hey, I
up,
want
yeah.
to do. I forgot my aunt, whatever."
And it's great, I think, to pick a photographer that has an assistant.
I was just going to say that, or a second photographer. So one can focus on the photojournalistic style, and the other one can focus on making sure you're getting all of the must-have traditional shots.
Yes. So you have someone catching those candid photos with your guests and things.
Right.
And also, a lot of brides put those small little cameras at every table, which I think is such a cool idea. I mean, you never know what you're going to get.
I know.
But I think it's a great idea to put
You're
those
seeing
cameras
it
at
through
every
your
table.
guest's eyes. Your wedding through your guest's eyes, which I think is pretty cool.
And sometimes you
know?
get great shots out of that you would have never gotten, especially of people that are sitting at the table. So like family members and stuff that you may not have gotten a shot of.
Right.
So.
Or pre-planned to have the shot for you. You got them, and you didn't even know you were getting it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so what I really like about working at Glendalough, and I know you guys do too, is being able to take the pictures ahead of time with the bride at no extra charge. Because most places we know charge extra, and then the bride might have to get ready at her house, and there's all these different locations. And if you're paying for a place, you definitely want to get all the pictures you can at the place, especially like Glendalough with the beautiful gardens. And everything.
And it alleviates on the time you're away from your guests at the reception. That's important. We've all been to that wedding where we're like, Okay. And we're waiting. Yeah. So being able to get that stuff, those pictures taken beforehand, you know, is huge.
Not to mention you have a space for everybody.
Right. Oh, the bride's room. Oh my gosh. I've been in 7 weddings and I have bumped uglies with some that I do not ever want to bump uglies with again. Because your space is like dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, and dee-dee-dee-dee, you know, and it's just you're cramped.
And there's even, you know, mirrors and vanities and places for girls to get ready, which is so important when you're talking about, I think one of the biggest jobs for us is trying to keep the bride and groom separate during pictures.
And we have great people that help us with Glendalough also. They provide an assistant for us, basically. So we don't have to bring an assistant with us, which is great because they've worked at the facility for years and years, so have we. So that's really nice too.
Definite plus.
Yeah, and we take that groom's call so we know when he's coming, you know, so that there's not that uh-oh, which, you know, sometimes just really ruins that, you know, that traditional setting that most people are very, very, very sensitive about.
Well, I mean, and it's 2 whole hours.
Right.
There's not a lot of facilities that include 2 whole hours.
And it doesn't pressure you to see each other beforehand.
Yes.
A lot of brides and grooms, I mean, there's a percentage that do want to see each other, but about 90% don't want to see each other. So that allows them to take their pictures.
Right. Yeah, so we just spoil our brides just rotten. What can we say?
But you also need to keep in mind that if you hire a photographer and videographer, you know, separately, they work for 2 different companies, that they can work together on wedding day. Because a lot of the photographers will come in and say, you get out of my shot. This is my shot, and I need to be here, and you need to be back here.
They're trying to trump one another.
Yeah, you know, where everybody's trying to get their shot. Everybody's trying to do their thing, and, you know, you just need to be
mindful of that. If you have a wedding planner, they can help you with that too. Because I know that I've told a lot of girls, well, maybe you could put a tripod screen here and not have, you know, the tripod screen or the microphone in every single photography shot.
Exactly.
So little things like that, I think planners can help you with.
I also think the bride has to be comfortable with her photographer.
Oh,
if she doesn't like them,
yeah.
she sits like this. At the end of the day, and you're like, no, you need to like your person.
Or you have a mean mug on your face.
Exactly, it shows in every picture.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good camaraderie. You're right.
And it helps if you can do the engagement session because that gives you a good time
a good feel too on what your day's going to be like.
And him or her. And the photographer to feel you out a little bit to see, are you going to be on him or her, or are you going to let them do their thing?
How adventurous are you going to be?
That's right.
Your good side, your good side.
Yeah. Right. Do you photograph?
Right.
Yeah. Do you have a good
Or the whole thing looks good.
Yeah.
Like Penny.
But yeah, I think you really need to like your photographer and feel comfortable because they are dogging you all day long.
That's right.
And let them be creative. That's important
and besides
too.
your wedding planner, they're the only person that is really connected to you for the entire day. So they're the one that's saying, we have to go do this and we have to go do that and that kind of thing. You know, so it's
so
really nice
to be easy to work with too.
Yeah, definitely.
Glendalough Manor totally does it all. They even supply you with your own wedding planner. Like, they totally do. I'm not even kidding.